You have watched Spider-Man at least once in your life. Do not lie. And at some point, sitting there with your popcorn, you thought it. You know you did. What if that was me? What if a radioactive spider bit me, and I woke up the next morning doing backflips off buildings? Well, good news and bad news. Good news, radioactive spiders exist. Bad news, you are not becoming Spider-Man. You are becoming something far, far worse. And today, we are going to find out exactly what. Let us start from the beginning. In the comics, Peter Parker visits a science exhibition. A radioactive spider falls from the ceiling, bites him on the hand, and boom! Wall crawling, web shooting, the whole deal. Seems simple enough. So what is actually stopping this from happening to you? Everything. Literally everything is stopping this from happening to you. First, let us talk about radiation. Your brain probably imagines radiation as this glowing green magical juice that turns you into a superhero. That is not what radiation is. Radiation is energy. It is invisible particles flying around at high speed, punching holes in whatever they hit. And what they love to hit most? Your DNA. Think of your DNA like a very long instruction manual for your entire body. Every single cell has a copy of this manual. Now, radiation does not read the manual. Radiation walks in, grabs random pages, scribbles all over them, tears some out, puts others in upside down, and leaves. That is what radiation actually does to you. It does not upgrade you, it breaks you. Now imagine a spider has been exposed to radiation. This spider is not glowing. It is not powerful. It is not special. It is just a spider whose DNA manual has been randomly scribbled in. And now it bites you. What happens? Well, first, the spider injects venom. That venom contains enzymes. Those enzymes start breaking down the cells around the bite. This is what spider venom does. It is basically a digestive juice that the spider shoots into you so it can drink your insides later. Yes, that is what was going on in the comic. Peter Parker was being pre-digested. You are welcome for that image. Now, along with that venom, a tiny amount of radioactive material might enter your bloodstream. Scientists have actually calculated this. The amount of radiation from a single spider bite would be somewhere between 0.000003 and 0.000003 millisieverts. To understand how small that number is, you absorb more radiation just by eating a single banana. Bananas are naturally radioactive. You have been absorbing spider-level radiation every time you eat breakfast. You are not Spider-Man. You are Banana Man. So the radioactive spider bites you. The radiation dose is basically nothing. The venom does its venom things. And your immune system shows up extremely annoyed and starts dealing with it. What do you actually feel? Itching, redness, maybe some swelling around the bite. If the spider happened to be particularly venomous, you might get a headache, nausea, muscle cramps. In rare cases, certain spider bites can cause tissue death around the wound. The brown recluse spider, for example, can leave a bite that slowly destroys the skin around it over several days. So to recap, Peter Parker got bitten and got superpowers. You get bitten and get an itchy bump and a possible doctor visit. The universe is deeply, profoundly unfair. But wait, some of you are not ready to give up. Some of you are sitting there thinking, okay, but what if the spider bit you and its DNA somehow got into your cells and merged with yours? What if spider DNA transferred to your body and rewrote your genetics? Scientists have thought about this too. Here is the problem. You and a spider do actually share a significant portion of DNA. Around 70% of human genes have a counterpart in fruit flies, which are closer to spiders evolutionarily than you might think. So the DNA is not completely alien. But here is what would have to happen for Spider-Man to be real. The spider's DNA would need to enter your cells. Then it would need to find the specific genes that give spiders their abilities. Then it would need to insert those genes into exactly the right places in your DNA. Then your body would need to actually read these new genes and produce the corresponding proteins. Then those proteins would need to build entirely new structures in your body. Spider silk glands, enhanced muscle tissue, some kind of adhesive on your fingertips. All of this would need to happen correctly, in the right order, without your immune system destroying every foreign molecule it finds along the way, which is literally your immune system's entire job. The chance of all of that happening from a single bite? Scientists are not even generous enough to call it small. It is essentially 0. What would actually happen if foreign DNA randomly inserted itself into your cells is called a mutation, and not the cool comic book kind, the bad kind. Uncontrolled mutations are what cancer is. Your cells would start reproducing incorrectly. Tumours. Not web shooters, tumours. There was actually a real spider bite case that people started calling the real Spider-Man bite for a while. In 2020, 3 boys in Bolivia were reportedly bitten by a black widow spider and taken to the hospital. Their parents told journalists the boys had asked to be bitten because they wanted to become Spider-Man. The boys spent several days in the hospital with muscle pain, fever, and sweating. No superpowers were reported. The spider did not get the memo about what it was supposed to do. Now, here is where things get slightly interesting. Scientists at the University of Cambridge have been studying spider silk. Real spider silk is stronger than steel by weight. A thread of spider silk the same thickness as a steel wire is 5 times stronger. Some species of spiders produce silk that can stop a bullet when woven into thick enough layers. This is not fiction. This is real material science. And scientists have actually managed to insert spider silk genes into goats. The goats then produce spider silk proteins in their milk. You can extract the silk from the milk and weave it. This research was pioneered by Randy Lewis at Utah State University, and it produced what they call biosteel. This is a real thing that exists. So we cannot make a Spider-Man, but we have made a spider goat. The future is strange. Here is the honest scientific truth. Radiation does not gift abilities. It destroys information. The reason Spider-Man makes no sense is not because superpowers are impossible in theory. It is because radiation is the single worst possible mechanism for gaining them. If you want to acquire a useful mutation, radiation is the equivalent of trying to improve a novel by setting it on fire and hoping the surviving pages say something better than before. Real genetic modification, the kind scientists are actually developing, works completely differently. CRISPR technology allows researchers to go into specific genes and edit them precisely, not randomly, precisely. Scientists have already used CRISPR to give mice enhanced muscle mass, to correct blindness in animals, and to remove hereditary diseases from embryos. This is real. This is happening now. If a real Spider-Man were ever created, it would not be from a spider bite at a science fair. It would be from a lab, decades of research, gene therapy, and probably a lot of paperwork. So what should you do if a radioactive spider actually bites you? Wash the bite with soap and water. Apply ice to reduce swelling. Do not try to suck out the venom. That does not work and it is embarrassing. If symptoms get worse, go to a doctor. Do not tell the doctor you were hoping for superpowers. They have heard it before. They are tired. You will not climb walls. You will not sense danger before it happens. You will not shoot anything from your wrists, except regret. But here is the one thing you can take from this. Peter Parker did not become Spider-Man because of the spider. He became Spider-Man because of what he decided to do after. The spider just bit him. The responsibility, the sacrifice, the choice to actually be something, that part was always his. And that part, at least, does not require a radioactive anything. Although a radioactive goat might help.